Hello subscribers and welcome back to my channel. Today, after a very long time, we have a green day in the market and I want to explain why. If you look at it at the time of recording, Shopify is up 11%, Opendoor 10%, Oatly 9%, Palantir 6%, Honest. It's green all over the board. Now, I want to explain why. And to understand why this is the case, I think there are two metrics which we need to understand first. So first one is PPI and the second one is CPI. PPI stands for Producer Price Index and CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. And they're both indices to measure inflation. Now, when it comes to PPI, it is all about the prices at the manufacturing level. So it covers the cost of raw materials used by manufacturers, and it also looks at the changes in the prices of the goods produced. So if you think about it, it looks at the changes in the manufacturer's input costs and also what they charge for the finished goods when they leave the factory, right? So as you can imagine, this captures price changes that are currently further up the supply chain from the actual consumers. Now, on the other hand, CPI looks at the changes in the price of the basket of goods consumed by the average household. That's more on the consumer side. How much are consumers paying for it? Now, on Wednesday, the CPI reports came out. And today, the PPI reports came out. Now, when the CPI reports came out, the market went insanely red. And the reason was that the CPI fell to 8.3%, but the expectation was the CPI to fall to 8.1% year over year. Also, core inflation, which excludes food and energy, rose by 0.6%, whereas the expectation was 0.4%. This is why we had a huge red yesterday. Now, today, the PPI numbers came out, which is a leading indicator of inflation, and that there is some sort of a good news here. So the month-over-month inflation came out at 0.5% versus 1.4% in the previous month, which was in line with estimates. And the PPI came out at 11%, whereas the estimate was 10.7%. So even though it did not beat the estimates, it is still lower than March, which is why it's a good news. Now, the best thing in the report today is that the US core PPI month over month for April was 0.4%, and the estimate was actually 0.7%. So this was a very good news for us, which is why the markets caught up, especially the growth stocks. And the core PPI for the past year was 8.8% in April versus 9.2% in March. So there was a decrement here as well. And the estimates were 8.9%. So this beat on expectation as well in terms of the core PPI. That is the whole reason why the markets are up. Takeaway is that the core PPI came in way lower than expected, and that's finally some good news on inflation. Now, because PPI measures wholesale price changes before they reach consumers, it is an early predictor of inflation. And now people are thinking, finally, we have a good sign that if PPI was low for this month, then the CPI for the next month might be even lower. So that's good news. That's why the market is up. Thank you. Have a great day.